Beloved child, as you enter this deeper stretch of the journey, understand that what you are doing now is separating yourself from the ordinary without making noise about it, because true growth does not announce itself. It happens quietly when no one is watching and when quitting would be easy but continuing feels meaningful, and this quiet commitment is shaping a strength inside you that does not depend on applause, validation, or instant success. At this stage, the mind often looks for shortcuts, distractions, or excuses disguised as logic, but awareness is your power, and the moment you notice these thoughts without obeying them, you reclaim control over your direction, proving to yourself that you are not ruled by impulses but guided by purpose. These hours are teaching you how to move forward even when enthusiasm fades, because real transformation happens after motivation ends. In the space where discipline takes over and carries you forward steadily, patiently, and without drama. You may feel moments of doubt, wondering if this effort truly matters, but remember that every meaningful life is built on invisible hours like these, hours that seem small in isolation but become monumental when accumulated over time, because success is never the result of one heroic moment but of thousands of quiet choices made correctly. You are learning how to tolerate discomfort without turning it into suffering, how to remain present without escaping into distractions, and how to continue without needing reassurance, and these abilities will make you resilient in ways that few people ever experience. As your focus deepens, you may notice a subtle shift in how you see yourself, a growing respect for your own discipline, and that self-respect will change the standards you accept in your work, your habits, and your relationships. Because once you know you can rely on yourself, you stop settling for what weakens you. Do not rush the finish or count the remaining time obsessively, because the value is not in the ending but in the consistency of showing up moment after moment, and this consistency is slowly reshaping your identity into someone who completes what they begin. These 5 hours are not about exhaustion but about endurance. Not about force but about persistence, and persistence is the quiet engine behind every meaningful achievement. Remember that the person who learns how to stay when it is uncomfortable gains an unfair advantage in a world where most people leave at the first sign of resistance, and that advantage compounds into confidence, clarity, and strength over time. Continue forward with calm determination, knowing that every minute you remain committed is reinforcing a mindset that will protect you during hard times and elevate you during good times, and one day you will look back at moments like this as the foundation where your discipline was forged, your character was refined, and your future strength was quietly built. Beloved child, as you continue through this extended stretch, recognize that you are now operating beyond the point where most people ever reach, because many begin journeys with excitement but very few stay long enough to experience the deep internal shift that happens only through sustained commitment, and this is where true transformation quietly takes root. At this stage, effort feels less dramatic and more deliberate, and that is a sign of maturity, because mature discipline does not rely on emotional highs but on calm decision-making and steady execution, allowing you to move forward even when the mind grows restless or the body grows tired. These hours are refining your patience, teaching you how to trust the process without demanding constant proof, and this trust is essential for building anything meaningful, because impatience destroys more potential than failure ever could. You are also strengthening your ability to remain centered, to observe discomfort without becoming it, and to choose focus over impulse, and this inner stability will serve you far beyond this moment, helping you navigate uncertainty, pressure, and responsibility with composure and confidence. There may be moments when progress feels invisible, but invisible progress is still progress, and often the most powerful changes happen beneath the surface long before they are seen on the outside. Much like roots growing deep before a tree ever rises above the ground, understand that endurance is not about pushing harder but about staying present longer, about returning to the task with a calm mind rather than forcing intensity, and this gentle persistence is what builds lasting strength. These 5 hours are not asking you to be perfect, only to be faithful to the commitment you made, and faithfulness to small promises creates the integrity that supports larger achievements. As you move forward, you are learning how to work without external pressure, how to remain accountable without supervision, and how to respect your own standards even when no one else is watching, and this self-respect will become one of your greatest assets. Do not underestimate how powerful it is to keep going when quitting feels reasonable, because the ability to continue in such moments is what separates those who merely try from those who truly change. One day, when life demands patience, resilience, and self-control from you, you will respond naturally, not with panic or avoidance, but with the calm confidence of someone who has trained themselves to endure, and this strength, built quietly during hours like these, will guide you steadily toward a life of purpose, stability, and lasting fulfillment. Beloved child, as you move through this advanced stage of the journey, understand that what you are cultivating now is inner authority, the quiet certainty that you can direct your own life without being ruled by moods, circumstances, or distractions, and this authority is rare because it requires patience, honesty, and consistency over long periods of time. By continuing when novelty has faded, you are proving to yourself that your commitment is deeper than emotion, and this proof becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence, the kind that does not seek validation because it knows its own strength. These hours are refining your ability to think clearly under monotony, to stay engaged without stimulation, and to maintain effort without external pressure, and these skills will place you far ahead in a world driven by distraction and instant gratification. You may notice that your thoughts are becoming quieter and more focused, and this mental stillness is not emptiness but clarity, allowing you to see priorities more sharply and act with intention rather than impulse. Understand that discipline is not punishment but freedom, because when you control your actions you free yourself from regret, chaos, and wasted potential, and this freedom grows stronger each time you choose consistency over comfort. These 5 hours are also teaching you humility, reminding you that progress is gradual and that mastery is built through repetition, patience, and respect for the process, not through shortcuts or dramatic efforts. When doubt arises, remember that doubt is simply the mind seeking certainty, and certainty is built through action, not thought, and every minute you continue provides that certainty silently. You are becoming someone who finishes what they start, someone who honors their commitments even when no one is watching, and this identity will reshape how you approach every responsibility and opportunity in your life. Do not measure this experience only by how you feel right now, because feelings fluctuate, but the discipline you are building is permanent, and it will support you during times of pressure, decision, and challenge long after these hours end. Continue forward with calm determination, knowing that this steady endurance is carving strength into your character, refining your focus, and preparing you for responsibilities and opportunities that require reliability, patience, and self-control, and one day you will look back on this season as the moment you truly learned how to lead yourself with clarity, consistency, and quiet confidence. Beloved child, these next 5 hours are not ordinary hours passing on a clock but powerful moments that can redefine who you are and where your life is headed. because every great transformation begins with a decision to stay focused when distractions are loud, to stay disciplined when motivation fades, and to keep moving forward even when the mind feels tired and the heart feels heavy. And right now you are standing at that exact crossroads where most people quit but a few choose to rise, and what you do in these hours will quietly shape the confidence, strength, and future you will live with tomorrow. You must understand that success is not created in sudden miracles but in long periods of unseen effort where you choose to work when no one is watching, to learn when others are wasting time, and to push when comfort is calling you back to old habits, because comfort builds nothing new while discipline builds everything you dream of. And even if progress feels slow, slow progress is still progress and far more powerful than standing still. These 5 hours are your chance to prove to yourself that you are not controlled by excuses, fear, or doubt, but by purpose, vision, and inner strength. And each minute you stay committed you are training your mind to obey you instead of your emotions, because emotions change but discipline creates results. And the life you want will not come from waiting for the perfect feeling but from acting despite imperfect feelings. There will be moments in these hours when your mind tells you to stop, to rest, to delay, to scroll, to escape the discomfort, but that is the moment when growth begins, because growth lives on the other side of resistance, and every time you push past that resistance you become mentally stronger, emotionally tougher, and spiritually more confident. Remember that 5 focused hours can put you ahead of people who only work when they feel inspired, and inspiration comes and goes but commitment stays, and commitment is what builds mastery, confidence, and self-respect. You are not here to impress anyone else, you are here to become someone you respect, someone who keeps promises to themselves, someone who shows up even when it's hard. Because self-respect is built by doing what you said you would do long after the excitement disappears. These hours may feel long, but one day you will realize they were short compared to the years you could lose by staying undisciplined, unfocused, and afraid, and the pain of effort is temporary while the pain of regret lasts far longer. Every minute you invest now is a gift to your future self, a future where you feel proud, capable, stable, confident, and free from the guilt of wasted potential. And you must remember that you do not need to be perfect in these hours. You only need to be present, because consistency beats perfection every time, and showing up imperfectly is far better than not showing up at all. As these 5 hours pass, remind yourself again and again that you are becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone who can handle pressure without breaking, someone who can stay focused even when it's uncomfortable, someone who does not run from challenges but grows through them, and this identity shift is more valuable than any single result. Because once your identity changes, your habits change, and once your habits change, your life follows. Do not look for instant rewards, look for internal change, because the greatest reward of discipline is not success but self-trust, the deep confidence that you can rely on yourself no matter what, and that confidence will carry you further than talent, luck, or motivation ever could. These hours are teaching you how to stay calm under pressure, how to stay committed without applause, how to stay focused without validation, and those skills will serve you for the rest of your life. You are not behind, you are building, you are not failing, you are learning, and you are not weak, you are training your strength, and every moment you choose effort over excuses you are rewriting the story of who you are. One day you will look back at this season and realize it was the season that made you disciplined, grounded, focused, and unshakable, and you will be grateful that you did not quit when it was uncomfortable, because comfort would have cost you everything you were meant to become. So stay here, Stay focused, stay committed, breathe through the discomfort, move step by step, minute by minute, hour by hour, because these 5 hours are not just changing your schedule, they are changing your standards, your mindset, and your future. And the person who finishes these 5 hours is not the same person who started them, because they are stronger, clearer, and closer to the life they truly deserve. Beloved child, as you move deeper into this 5-hour commitment, I want you to realize that the real battle is not against time, difficulty, or circumstances, but against the voice inside your mind that tries to pull you back into comfort and convince you that slowing down is harmless, because that voice has delayed more dreams than failure ever has, and right now your greatest victory is simply refusing to listen to it. Every minute you stay focused, you are strengthening your self-control. Every moment you resist distraction, you are sharpening your mental discipline. And these invisible victories are the ones that eventually create visible success. Even though the world rarely applauds the hours spent in silence, the effort you give when no one is watching is building a version of you that will never be weak again. Understand this clearly: motivation is temporary, but identity is permanent. And what you are doing in these hours is not just completing tasks but shaping your identity into someone who finishes what they start, someone who does not need excitement to work, someone who can sit with discomfort without escaping it, and this identity will follow you into every area of your life long after these hours end. There will be moments when progress feels slow and your mind demands proof that this effort matters, but growth does not ask for permission to work silently. And the strongest foundations are built underground before anything rises into view, so trust the process even when it feels invisible, because invisible growth always comes before undeniable results. You must also remember that discipline is a form of self-respect, and every time you keep your focus you are telling yourself that your future is worth protecting from distraction, that your goals are worth sacrificing comfort for, and that you are capable of more than you once believed, and this inner respect will change the way you carry yourself, the way you speak to yourself, and the way you show up in the world. These 5 hours are also teaching you patience, the ability to stay steady without immediate reward. And patience is the skill that allows people to build long-term success instead of chasing short-term excitement, because anything built quickly without patience collapses just as fast. Do not rush these hours, do not wish them away, because they are shaping you, strengthening you, and conditioning your mind to stay focused for longer than it ever has before, and this skill alone can separate you from the majority of people who cannot sit with effort without escaping into distraction. When fatigue appears, understand that it is not a signal to stop but a signal that your limits are expanding, because growth always feels uncomfortable at first, and comfort is simply a sign that nothing new is happening. As these hours continue, speak to yourself with calm authority instead of harsh judgment, because confidence is built through consistency, not criticism, and every calm return to focus is a win. No matter how many times your attention drifts, remember that you are not trying to impress anyone else, you are proving to yourself that you can be trusted. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence, courage, and long-term success. One day you will look back and realize that this ability to stay focused, patient, and disciplined for long periods became the turning point of your life, because once you master your attention, you master your direction, and once you master your direction, your future stops being accidental and becomes intentional. So continue forward with steady effort, controlled focus, and quiet determination, knowing that every minute you invest here is strengthening the person you are becoming. And my beloved child, as these 5 hours continue to unfold, I want you to understand that endurance is a rare skill, and right now you are training it with every minute you refuse to quit, because most people can start strong but very few can stay steady, and it is steadiness, not talent, not luck, not motivation, that quietly builds extraordinary lives. When your energy dips and your focus wavers, do not panic or judge yourself, because fluctuation is part of growth, and the power lies in your ability to return to the task again and again without emotional drama, because discipline is calm, consistent, and patient, and every calm return to focus strengthens your mental muscles more than any burst of excitement ever could. These hours are teaching you how to stay present without rushing, how to continue without constant reassurance, and how to trust effort without immediate feedback. And these skills will serve you far beyond this moment, shaping the way you approach challenges, relationships, responsibilities, and goals for the rest of your life. Understand that discomfort does not mean something is wrong, it means something is changing, because whenever you stretch beyond what is familiar, your mind resists, your body complains, and your emotions try to escape. But growth lives precisely in that space of resistance, and every time you remain there instead of running, you expand your capacity. Remember that the person you are becoming is being shaped not by the moments when you feel strong but by the moments when you feel tired and continue anyway, because strength is built through repetition under pressure, and pressure is what reveals who you truly are. As these hours pass, you may begin to notice a quiet confidence growing within you, a confidence not based on praise or results but on the knowledge that you can rely on yourself, and that confidence is unshakable because it is earned, not imagined. Do not underestimate how powerful it is to keep your word to yourself, because self-betrayal weakens the spirit while self-honesty strengthens it. And every minute you honor this commitment you are rebuilding trust within yourself, which will reflect in every area of your life. There will be moments when the temptation to stop feels logical, reasonable, and harmless, but remember that small compromises repeated daily create massive regret, while small disciplines repeated daily create massive freedom, and freedom is what you are ultimately working toward. Not just financial freedom, but mental freedom, emotional stability, and the confidence to know that you are in control of your own direction. These 5 hours are not about forcing intensity every second, but about maintaining presence, returning to focus, and choosing effort over escape, and this gentle persistence is far more powerful than aggressive motivation. As you continue, let go of the idea that success must feel exciting, because real success often feels quiet, steady, and almost boring in the moment, but over time it compounds into a life of confidence and control. You are not chasing a temporary result, you are building a permanent standard, a standard of focus, discipline, and self-respect that will follow you long after these hours end. And one day, when life presents you with challenges that would have overwhelmed your old self, you will handle them calmly, not because life became easier, but because you became stronger, and this strength is being built right now, minute by minute, breath by breath, choice by choice. So continue forward with patience, clarity, and quiet determination, knowing that every second you stay committed is shaping the future you will live with pride. Beloved child, as you move into this next phase of these 5 hours, I want you to recognize that what you are practicing right now is mastery over yourself, and self-mastery is the highest form of power a human can achieve, because when you can guide your own thoughts, control your attention, and stay committed despite discomfort, no external circumstance can truly defeat you. Many people spend their lives trying to control the world, trying to change others, trying to wait for perfect conditions, but the ones who truly rise are those who learn how to remain steady inside chaos, focused inside distraction, and disciplined inside uncertainty, and this steadiness is being built in you right now, even if it feels subtle or quiet. There may be moments during these hours when time feels slow and effort feels repetitive, but repetition is the birthplace of excellence. And what feels repetitive today becomes automatic tomorrow, freeing your mind and strengthening your confidence. Because habits are formed not through intensity but through consistency, and consistency is what turns effort into identity. You must also understand that there is a deep difference between being busy and being intentional, and these 5 hours are teaching you how to work with intention, how to choose depth over speed, and how to value focus over noise, and this ability alone can elevate every area of your life. Because a focused mind creates clear decisions, and clear decisions create strong outcomes. When impatience arises, remind yourself that patience is not passive waiting but active endurance, the willingness to continue without immediate reward, and the people who can endure without reward are the ones who eventually receive rewards that last. These hours are also strengthening your emotional regulation, teaching you how to experience tiredness without panic, boredom without escape, and pressure without collapse, and this emotional strength is far more valuable than raw motivation, because motivation fades but emotional control remains. You are learning how to sit with yourself, how to listen without reacting, how to continue without drama, and this calm discipline will one day allow you to navigate challenges, criticism, and uncertainty with grace and confidence. Remember that no effort you make here is wasted, even if no one sees it and even if the results are not immediate, because effort never disappears, it compounds, and one day it shows up as confidence, clarity, skill, and opportunity when you least expect it. The version of you who finishes these hours is not just more productive but more grounded, more reliable, and more self-aware. And this version will begin to demand better standards in every part of life, from how you spend your time to how you treat your goals. Do not rush this transformation, because lasting change is slow, quiet, and deeply rooted, and the strongest trees grow the slowest because their roots go deep. As these hours continue, allow yourself to move steadily, breathe deeply, and stay present, understanding that you are not chasing perfection but building trust with yourself, and self-trust is the foundation of courage, resilience, and long-term success. One day, when life challenges you with pressure far greater than this moment, you will remain calm and capable, not because the challenge is small, but because you trained yourself here, in these 5 hours, to stay focused, patient, and disciplined no matter what, and that is a strength no one can take away from you.